Well, good morning and welcome. My name is Tom Vukovic with Insurance Network America. I help the financial products division here at Insurance Network America. And I have about a minute or two after the hour, we will get things going. I wanted to begin by thanking you all for joining us, taking some time out of your busy schedule to hear some great, useful ideas for you. I'm very excited about both our topic as well as our featured speaker today. Presenting on the 3 Ps of successful producers, we have none other than Casey Lane from North American. And our objective today is to provide you with some useful strategies and methods that you can implement immediately into your business. Before I hand things off to Casey, I would like to, first of all, thank all of those, a lot of familiar names on the call. I want to thank all of you for joining us. I'd also like to invite those on the call that are not already contracted with Insurance Network America to give us an opportunity to earn your business. Our number is 800-456-7999, and give us a call. Find out more about what we're all about, and we definitely want to earn your business. One other thing before I hand it off to Casey Lane, if you have questions during the presentation, please use the GoToWebinar window. In most cases, it's to the right of your screen, and there's a box that says questions. You have a question, we will take a few minutes at the end of the call to answer any questions you have. And our goal today is, again, also to give you some useful strategies and methods you can use, but we'd like to keep this within 30 minutes. Be really good, be brief, and be gone. And our intent and hope is that we leave you with some lasting impact and some tools that you can use in your practice. And then at the conclusion of today's call, I have another opportunity to mention to everybody, and I will save that to the end. At this point, I'll happily hand off the presenting duties to our great friend and partner, Casey Lane with North American. Casey, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate it as always. Let's go ahead and make sure we get my screen up and running. Tom, let me know when you see my screen up there.
Looks good. We are good to go.
Awesome. You know, folks, no matter how many of these things you do, there always seems to be some glitch or hiccup in these presentations, but so far so good. So again, Tom, thank you very much. On behalf of myself and all of the other employee owners here at North American, let me also thank you folks for taking time out of your busy schedule and away from your clients and prospects to join us. And I always use the same thank you introduction, whether I'm in front of a group, on a webinar, or on a call, because I truly mean it. You folks are independent agents that work on commissions. So for you to take 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, out of your busy day to join us here today, again, is certainly very much appreciated. And Tom and Insurance Network America, thank you for having me on the opportunity to talk today. And more importantly, thank you for being a true partner with North American Company. Now, I like to do this presentation in front of a live audience. So usually I have folks, by a show of hands in my introduction comment here or question, I usually ask folks to raise their hand. I can't see everybody's hands. I can't see you. Just shake your head, nod your head, or raise your hand in your own office here. But would you agree that if you could get in front of more prospects this week, this month, and this year than you did last week, last month, and last year, that you'd make more money? I mean, it's common sense, right? It's a numbers game. You guys are in this business. It's a numbers game. The more people you can call on, the more people you can get in front of, the more opportunities you have for making money. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to actually cover this in 3 categories, 3 different categories. So the first one we're going to spend time on is what you see on the screen. We're going to talk about the 3 Ps of successful producers. After we talk about the 3 Ps, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about an innovative crediting method that's going to, and I love this phrase, it's going to turn a client's frown upside down. So the 3 Ps of successful producers: Moving on then to an innovative crediting method available here on several of our products. And then we'll end with the third topic, if you will, and that is some point of sale pieces that will help you close more annuity sales. So talking about the 3 Ps, by the way, everything I'm going to share with you specifically as it pertains to our first topic, the 3 Ps of successful producers, none of these are things that I came up with. These aren't things that Insurance Network America came up with. We're all pretty smart people, but these are actually utilized and came to us from agents in the field like yourself that have successfully implemented one of these or several of these into their own practice. Again, this is not anything we came up with here at North American. This is not my idea. These are things that successful producers are using out there already in the field. Also, I do want to point out that we're not asking you to stop doing what you're doing today. Obviously, you are successful already in your own right. We're not telling you to stop doing what you're doing today and to implement everything that you hear on our call today, because first of all, that's just not practical. You're not going to be able to do that. And second of all, what we're sharing with you today, some of these ideas may not work for you. You may think some of them are stupid, but you know what? I can tell you that everything we're going to share with you today is being utilized by some agents out there in the field. And if it's working for some agents or one agent, it can certainly work for you. All it takes is one. It pertains to a lot of things. All it means is, hey, implement one topic, one idea that we talk about today, and see what happens in your practice. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So I travel a lot for my work, and throughout my travels and conversations with agents like yourselves in the field out there, when I ask the question, if you could spend more time and money doing any one thing in your practice, what would it be? And some of you think about it for yourself. What would it be? If you could spend more time and more money on any one thing about your practice, what would it be? 8 out of 10 times, what I hear is prospecting. I want to get in front of more qualified prospects. And that's the first P we're going to talk about today, is prospecting. Now, again, I want to make this clear that this idea is an idea. Actually, this idea and this prospecting technique came from one of my counterparts on the life side of our house, one of my life SVPs who used to practice independent sales for 25 years. This is what he used for his prospecting technique and to get referrals. And it's 4 simple but powerful words. May I join you? Simple, right? May I join you? 4 very easy. I think they're all single syllables too. So may I join you? So here's how this works. And some of you may already know this about your clients, but what you want to do is discover what your client does for fun. What are they passionate about? What is it that they enjoy doing in their off hours? When they're not working, when they're not family time, what is it that they enjoy doing for fun? Simply ask them, when is it that they're going to be doing that again? And I'll give you an example. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I like to hunt and fish, but one thing I hadn't done in the past is I hadn't gone out and I hadn't shot sporting clays. So you go out to this a course and they throw these clay pigeons from different areas, different angles on the ground. I'd never done that before, but I had a hunting buddy who belongs to a club where they do this. So now this was not for business purposes, but just to give you an analogy. So talking to him one day, we were out hunting and I said, hey, when are you going to be actually going and doing that sporting clays course at your club again? And he told me, I'm going out, next Saturday. And I simply asked him, can I join you? May I join you? So think about this. Doing what someone loves, and think about this for yourself. When you do what you really enjoy doing, what you're passionate about, you're typically going to be at your happiest, right? I can tell you right now, when I'm outdoors, hunting, fishing, shooting clays, I am a happy, unless I'm shooting bad, I'm not a happy person. But for the most part, I'm doing what I enjoy. I'm doing what I love. So I'm going to be very happy. And at the same time, I'm going to be open, right? Because the other people that you're with, you're sharing the experience with, are also going to be at their happiest, right? Nothing is better than getting introduced to new people when they are happy and they're doing what they love. Now, I will tell you some of the things that your clients, their hobbies, their passions, maybe aren't something you're really going to want to join them with, but if it's something that intrigues you, maybe you've never done it before, simply ask that client, may I join you? Again, you're going to be surrounded by, first of all, a happy client, as well as who knows how many other happy and open prospects. And the opportunity for referrals is dramatic. Again, and my life counterpart used this back in the day. This was his only referral technique. He never asked clients for referrals. You know, at the close, you know, you're presenting the policy. He never once asked, hey, you know, you got anybody in mind that this might work for as well, a friend, a family member? This was his prospecting technique. May I join you? And he got more clients using this than any other thing he ever did. Now, again, a lot of you I know do client appreciation events. Don't stop what you're doing, but think about it. What is this going to cost you? I mean, it depends on what the hobby or passion is of your client, but you've already got a great relationship with your client. You think they're going to say no? You can't come with me to my book club? I mean, I think the client's more than likely going to say, yeah, absolutely, come and join me. So again, think about that as the first P of successful producers in prospecting, and the powerful phrase or question, may I join you? All right, so that was the first P of the 3 Ps. Now the next one, for those of you that do seminars or workshops or educational events, whatever you want to call them, this next P is something that may work for you, because again, I know this has worked specifically with 3 agents that I deal with myself. And the second P is the presentation. And when we talk about presentation, I'm going to tell you to think about winging it, right? I know we've heard the term winging it before. Just you know, go off track. So I have 3 agents specifically that have done workshops for years. You know, not necessarily the same exact workshop or seminar, but they changed it up a little bit, but they do one workshop, one seminar for, you know, 2, 3, 4 months, and then maybe switch it up. So instead of even just doing different webinars or different workshops or seminars, get out of your comfort zone. Think about just winging it one day, because that's exactly what all 3 of these agents did. So they've been doing the same seminar, and think about this. How many clients go to these workshops for the meals? You've probably seen the same folks, the same couple at 15 of your events, right? They've heard these things how many times? So do this, and this is what they did. Just simply try winging your presentation. And by that, I mean literally winging it. Maybe start doing your normal introduction, welcome, and go through maybe what your agenda was going to be, but then change it up a little bit, shift gears, and say, you know what? And I personally myself do this when I'm at times when I'm meeting with my clients, like Insurance Network America. I always have an agenda. I've got a sheet. I've got my topic items that I want to talk about. But you know what? That agenda, those topic items may not necessarily be the things that Insurance Network America is really interested in hearing about. Maybe they have their own agenda. So think about it in terms of that. Your clients, you know what? They may not want to hear about lifetime income. They may not want to hear about enhanced liquidity riders, but they might want to hear about, you know, what's things that keep them up at night. So here's what these agents did. The one agent simply said this, you know what? I'm literally not going to go through. I had my PowerPoint. I've got 37 slides here. I was going to spend the next hour going through this with you, but these are things that maybe you don't want to hear about. So what I want to hear from you, here's what I want to do. I'm going to open it up to questions. You tell me what you want to talk about, what you want us to talk about. Think about things that maybe keep you up at night. What scared you financially, not you know, the ghost under the bed or in the closet, but financially, what keeps you up at night? What fears do you have financially for you, your spouse, your loved ones? It may not pertain to you specifically. What fears do you have? Now, what you're going to probably find, and all 3 of these agents said the same thing, is typically it's going to take a little bit. You're going to have to maybe coax some questions out of clients. But once they get going, the questions start rolling in. And now you do have one thing you have to keep in mind also here is you got to keep control of it, because you can imagine some of the questions that might be coming up. So keep control. Indicate, hey, we're going to do this just for an hour, as I promised you. I'm not going to keep you for more than an hour. I'll take as many questions as you have in that hour, and we'll go from there. You'd be amazed at the success that you have doing this, as opposed to just sticking with your original agenda, your original topics, your original PowerPoint, things that clients may not even want to talk about. 2 of the 3 agents nowadays, they don't even bring a laptop. They don't even bring a PowerPoint presentation. It is simply an open forum. Tell me what you want to hear. Their invites that they send out, they are financially related. They do talk about, hey, let's talk about planning to not outlive your income in retirement. Let's talk about legacy transfer. So they plant the seeds, but they don't say, here's what exactly we are going to talk about. It's more questionable. Let's talk about this. Do you want to know more about this? Try it. If you do workshops and webinars, workshops and seminars, pardon me, give it a shot. I know it's probably not going to be comfortable at first, but I'll tell you what, it works. It works for these 3 agents anyway. That was the second P, presentation. The next P is also along the lines, and for those of you that maybe do workshops and seminars, and this could also, more than likely, if you implement this, could increase your closing ratio dramatically. And the third P is the power close, and that is make your call to action visual. The key word there is visual. Make your call to action visual. So there was a research study done on 650 advisors who in 2016 wrote just over $6 billion of annuities. 650 advisors that wrote just over $6 billion of annuities in 2016. Of those 650 advisors, 75% of those advisors leveraged seminars or workshops as their primary prospecting strategy. Now, that doesn't mean they did other things for prospecting, but seminars and workshops were their primary prospecting strategy. And in virtually every seminar that they did, their call to action at the conclusion of their event included a summary of what would be offered when the prospects attended a no obligation appointment in their office, at a later date after the workshop. The problem and the missed opportunity here is that many advisors speak of the offer in the abstract, speak of it. So consider this. I'm going to give you a little scenario or an analogy. Consider the difference in these 2 scenarios. Number 1, a doctor simply tells you it might be wise to run a precautionary screen for pulmonary embolisms given your history of high blood pressure and recent lightheadedness. Okay, so they tell you it might be wise, right? Scenario 2, another doctor shows you a diagram of an actual blood clot he saw obstructing a patient's carotid artery last week, and he tells you if they hadn't done immediate surgery, that patient could have passed away. So he suggests, given your high blood pressure and recent lightheadedness, you should likely do a precautionary screen for similar type of blood clots. In those 2 scenarios, which doctor likely is going to get your attention? The one that showed you the actual visual, right? So when making your call to action at the end of your presentation, at the end of your workshop, make it concrete by referencing an actual visual. If you, for example, put together a retirement income analyzer for clients when they meet with you, show them an example. Show them the deliverable that your clients are going to receive when they work with your firm. Maybe not a full financial plan, but a retirement roadmap or GPS, call it whatever you will, but whatever it is you typically are going to give to them if they work with you, show them an example. Pass it around. Let them pass it around the room. Again, whether it's a retirement analyzer, some form of retirement roadmap, show it clearly in your presentation and have sample copies on hand that those clients can flip through. And again, clearly explain the reassurance, clarity, and the increased confidence that such a thing provides. So again, show them, make that call to action visual. So at the bottom of the screen, one advisor who'd been experiencing a 55% conversion rate at her seminars all through 2016 through August of 2016, made that one change in a September event, and in her very first attempt, she closed 86% of the room just by making that call to action visual. Make the call to action visual and look at the increased opportunity for closing those prospects. So we covered 3 P's. And like Tom said, we're going to try to get you out of here, folks. So the 3 P's, first one was prospecting. Second one was the presentation, winging it. And the third one was the power close and making your call to action visual. That was the first part. We're going to move on now to the second part of our presentation, the second topic, if you will. And we're going to take a look at a unique and innovative crediting method for today's market environment. And folks, I'm by no means an economist. I'm not a financial analyst. I don't have that crystal ball, and I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But personally, I feel that the market has some downside exposure. I'm not saying it's going to crash tomorrow, but after a 10-year or however many years it's been of a bull run, there has to be some downside exposure in the market. If you or your clients or prospects feel the same way, then this crediting method is going to be a perfect opportunity for some of your clients' premium. Now, there's a term that we use in our industry for the picture that you see here on your screen. And again, if I was in front of a room, I'd have you raise your hand and tell me what that term is. It's not a phrase. Some of you are probably thinking, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's a different term. That's a phrase. So this is a term that we associate with index annuities. So when you see this, these are eggs, obviously. Does anybody know what kind of eggs those are? Now, to me, they could be any bird for that matter, but think of our industry and a term that we use. Think of goose egg, right? So when we say goose egg in our business, we typically are referring to zeros, right? The zeros that your clients are going to see on their statements every once in a while, because pretty much 1 in every 3 years that market's going to be down. The client's going to see a zero on their statement. And what phrase do we typically use then when we talk about these zeros? But now there's a phrase that we associate with zeros as well. Very common one. Zero is your hero, right? I know I've said it before. I'm sure you've said that to your clients, that zero is your hero, meaning that although, yes, Mrs. Client, you did see a zero return on your statement this year, one of the big benefits and unique benefits of an index annuity is that we don't have to get back to this starting point to break even. Anything above where we're starting this year at is going to be positive gains for your annuity. Well, how would you folks on the call today, like to be an even bigger hero in your client's eyes if there is a negative market? Well, you can do exactly that with this innovative crediting method from North American. It's available on 2 of our products. It's called the Inverse Performance Trigger. So the name really much implies exactly how this thing works. So Inverse Performance Trigger, if something negative happens, there's going to be a positive outcome. If something negative happens, there's going to be a positive outcome. So here's how this works, and this is where that phrase, turn that frown upside down, comes into. So this inverse performance trigger is what we would call a declared rate. And so you may have seen a declared rate, positive declared rate on other products out there, meaning if the index is positive at all for the year, whether it's 2% or 22%, your client gets a declared rate credited to any monies they have in that bucket. Well, this works very similarly. However, it works in the opposite, meaning, Mrs. Client, if the S&P 500 on your policy anniversary is flat or is negative at all, you will receive a positive declared rate for any monies you had in that bucket. So, Mrs. Client, if the S&P 500 is down 17% this year. Let's use our example on the screen. North American's going to give you a positive 4% interest credit. If it's flat, if it ends up at the same exact point from today to 365 days from now, North American's going to credit you a positive 4% interest credit. Then your client might ask, well, what if the S&P is actually up? What happens in that scenario? This strategy doesn't work in an up market. It only works in a down market. So if the S&P is positive, just like with your other strategies, you're simply going to get a 0 in any monies you have in this bucket. So for this reason, folks, I'm not advocating allocate 100% of the client's premium to this strategy unless you have that crystal ball. If you know the S&P is going to be down this year, by all means, allocate it all to this one. But I can tell you right now, if your client have the crystal ball, you're probably not going to be talking about index annuities and things like that. So I encourage folks to allocate a percentage of your premium to this strategy. Basically, what this is doing is it's hedging the downside. If you believe, Mrs. Client, that there is some downside risk here in the market, this is a strategy you may want to allocate some of your premium to, because you're going to turn that negative into a positive. You're going to turn that frown upside down. Again, 0 is your hero. If you allocate some premium to this strategy and some to a strategy that will credit positive interest when the market's up, you're not going to have to worry about zeros. You will not see a 0 on your statement if you do a blend of the inverse performance trigger and any of the other strategies that credit in a positive market. So what are the current inverse performance trigger declared rates right now? Well, it depends on the product. We have it on the retire choice, and we have it available on the performance choice products. Now, there are several different variations and surrender charge periods and high bands and low bands, but for simplicity, on the retire choice, the inverse performance trigger right now is anywhere from 6.35% to 7.60%. So, Mrs. Client, if you are in the retire choice and you allocate some premium to the inverse performance trigger, and I'm going to use 6.5 to make it easy. If the S&P 500 is down this year and you have monies allocated to that bucket, doesn't matter how high or low or it's down, North American's going to give you 6.50% interest credit for monies in that bucket. And I want to make sure we're clear, this is not a cap, meaning if it's down only, let's say 2%, does that mean North American's going to give me positive 2%? No. If this is a declared rate, it doesn't matter how little or how much it's negative, you get that declared rate. The example I used was 6.5%. Could you imagine, Mrs. Client, how would you like to earn 6.5% in a negative market? They're going to say, how is that even possible? What are you talking about? With the inverse performance trigger from North American, you can earn positive interest credits in a negative market. Pretty powerful stuff, folks. Okay, so we talked about the 3 Ps. We just talked about the innovative inverse performance trigger crediting method that's available on several of our products. Let's move on to the third topic of our presentation, and that is point of sale positioning pieces. These are point of sale pieces that you folks can use at the time of sale. And let me just preface this. You know better than I do, because you're in the field, you're on commissions, you're making the sales. You know better than I do that having a good product is one thing, but you know what? Every carrier has good products. I'm in Des Moines. There's 22 other carriers out here that offer index annuities just in Des Moines alone. There might be a few less, there might be a few more. There's a lot of insurance companies here in Des Moines that have good index annuity products. So we all have good products, but you need more than product to make sales. You need resources, you need materials that can help you educate clients on the features and benefits of index annuities, and at the same time help you close more sales. That's exactly what these next 4 screens are going to show you. These are 4 point of sale. These, by the way, these aren't the only 4 that we have, but these are the 4 that we feel are probably, at least they're getting ordered more than any others, and these are all orderable pieces that you can use. And if I'm not mistaken, I know 3 of the 4, if not all 4 of these that you're going to see, these are actual customizable pieces. You can drop in your own information in here, print off, 20 color copies of this and take them to your appointments and leave them at the point of sale because it'll have your information. So these are customizable pieces. And the first one is one that you might get questions on because clients are going to say, well, tell me how this index annuity thing you're talking about compares to a CD. I've got a couple of CDs, or I remember my grandma talking about these certificates of deposit. How does this compare to a CD? Well, let's take a look here. You can see that both the CD and index annuity offer safety of principal protection. You can't lose money due to negative market performance. However, as we can see, CDs are not tax deferred like a fixed indexed annuity, nor can CDs provide you a guaranteed lifetime income stream that you cannot outlive. So what this does, this piece just shows you the features and benefits of an indexed annuity compared to other popular savings or investment vehicles, if you will, just to help them help you show the features and benefits and the differentiating features and benefits of an indexed annuity versus some other popular investments. This is a good one too. You all come across objections all the time. We did a white paper study on the most common objections or myths that clients have about index annuities. And we lay them out here on this sheet. We lay them out the top 4. You can leave this with your client. You can hand it to them, but even before the meeting, maybe email it to them and say, hey, I know you may have some questions and some objections to these products. Let me just provide this to you. Take a look at it. We can talk about it when I come to the meeting. So again, I'm not going to go through these in detail, but these are the 4 most common objections or myths that clients or prospects have about index annuities, and then how to overcome, or how an index annuity, the features and benefits that are provided by those products that can overcome those myths. I love this piece. I absolutely love this piece. This has to go back to kind of the zero is your hero, right, topic. And that is that most clients, if they're in some type of an investment or in the market, let's say a 401k, and let's say their 401k is down like it was back in 2008. Let's say it drops 40%. Most clients are going to say, well, okay, so next year, as long as I make 40%, I'll get back to even. And that's not the case. That's a very big common myth as well. This is client, if your 401k is down 40% this year, you got to make 66.7% next year just to break even, to get back to even. But like we talked about with that index annuity and zero is your hero, you don't have to get back to that break-even point. Anything we have from this lower point, this now down 40%, anything above that mark now next year is going to be positive gains for you. So this kind of helps remind clients that, yeah, if you lose this much, it's going to take this much more to get back to even, but also helps solidify that huge benefit of an index annuity, that zero is our hero. And then the last one, this is a very common question you might get too. Hey, you're talking to me about these index annuities. I've been in mutual funds and some stocks before, and I remember my grandma talking about these CDs. So where does an index annuity lie on the kind of the risk reward spectrum? Risk-wise, where does it lie compared to these other products and investments? And as you know, but clients may not, that index annuity is going to lie right there on the cusp. You're going to get, again, the safety, the protection of the downside, no downside risk that you see with the products to the left, but you're going to get some of the upside potential that you see with those products and investments to the right. It lies right there in the middle, kind of the best of both worlds, if you will. So again, those are 4 point of sale pieces that you can use. You can customize these things. I know basically this is not the whole sheet. I cut out the part where it says you can drop in your own information. But these, again, are customizable. You can leave these with your clients. So, folks, in summary, we started with the 3 Ps of successful producers: prospecting, presentation, power, close, which, if implemented, will get you in front of more qualified prospects and also give you the opportunity to close more annuity sales. We then talked about the inverse performance trigger and how you can get clients positive returns in a negative market. And as the saying goes, turn that frown upside down. And then lastly, we ended with, again, 4 point-of-sale pieces that can help you, first of all, educate clients on the features and benefits of index annuities, as well as, again, help you close more sales. So after all that, hey, Casey, that's great. I love it. This was great. So what's in it for you? What's in it for your clients? Well, for your clients, first of all, you're going to provide some education to them on the benefits and the power and the features of index annuities. And if you talk about that inverse performance trigger, again, share that with them, show them how they can earn positive returns in a negative market. And for you, as the advisor, we share with you some things that you can implement and gives you the opportunity to get in front of more qualified prospects. And when you do get in front of them with these point of sale pieces we talked about, you can close more annuity sales. More annuity sales means more commission to you. So here's your homework, folks. I'm going to give you 3 options. I don't remember getting 3 options in homework when I was back in school, unless it was I had the choice of choosing which I wanted to write about. 3 options. Number 1, within the next 30 days, I want you to try implementing one of those 3 Ps, whether it's may I join you, the prospecting technique, whether if you're doing presentations or workshops and you decide to wing it one of the times, or if you do those workshops, make sure that that power close, that visual is, or that your call to action is visual. Implement one of those, or talk to a client about the inverse performance trigger. Maybe just even go back through your database. I'm sure you know which clients of yours are a little risk averse and maybe feel there's some downside exposure. Call them up, talk to them about the inverse performance trigger. And I think all of you can utilize one, if not several, of those point of sale pieces in any of your meetings with your clients. So those are your 3 options. If you want to do all 3 of them, by all means, go for it. But like I said at the beginning, folks, not everything that we talked about today is something that you're going to be able to use or you're going to even want to use. But if you can find one thing in there, in the stuff we talked about today, the more power to you. And by the way, I can certainly get those point of sale pieces. I will get those to Tom at the conclusion of our event here today. And with that, again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your time today and the opportunity for not only Insurance Network America, but North American to earn your annuity business. Tom, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Okay, hey, thank you. And as you all can see pretty clearly why Casey is one of our favorite partners. He has fun no matter what he's doing. And terrific job. Thank you, Casey. If you all just give me 2 more minutes, I said I was going to mention one more thing at the conclusion of today's call. Many of you know our annual Producer Summit, and our Producer Summit is truly an event like no other. The quality of our training, our featured keynote speakers that we bring, the sponsor training and the breakout sessions of the sponsors that attend are the best in the business. We've heard this over and over again. This will be our 8th year hosting our Producer Summit. It's in August. It's right around the corner. Remaining spots are filling up fast. I want to invite you to reach out to our marketing sales reps. I know some of you on the call here are already registered to attend, but give us a call. Give our marketing sales reps a call to find out more details and see how you can qualify to attend. Our number is 800-456-7999. You should see it on the screen there. And that was something I wanted to mention and get out to you. So just a couple last things here. Our sales team will be following up with you within the next day, and we'll provide you with the details on the crediting strategy that Casey mentioned, the inverse performance trigger, as well as those point of sale pieces. If you have a client in mind that you want to discuss, please don't wait. Call us, 800-456-7999. Again, if you're not contracted yet with us, you need to be. We want to earn your business. Those of you that are already contracted with us, we thank you for your partnership ongoing. We thank you for attending. But for those that are giving us a look, we really want to earn the opportunity to earn your business. We have the right solutions for your clients. We have the right contracts and the right people to assist you. Again, I want to thank everyone for attending today. I'd like to thank our partner, Casey Lane with North American once again. And our number is 800-456-7999. I think that's a record number of times I've given that. Anyway, sincerely, thank you for joining us on a Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a terrific summer and look forward to hearing from you all soon. Have a great day.